I cannot believe January is almost over, and it's time to recap what I made this month. So I want to start doing monthly videos about what I made in the previous month. Well, in this case, still we are in January when I'm recording this video, to see, first of all, what I made, second of all, what I'm into at the moment, because I kind of think I'm entering my blanket phase, if that makes sense, but I'm going to talk about it later. Third of all, my progress over, weeks, months, years. You can call it kind of a journal, crochet journal, if that makes sense. My first project of the year was unicorn amigurumi. I'm going to insert a picture over here. I don't have this unicorn anymore because it found a new home already. It was a crochet kit from AliExpress that I had laying around for months before I finally decided to open it and make the toy. And it went to my boyfriend's niece. I also lost my first yarn chicken of the year with this project because I kind of tweaked it and I didn't have enough yarn to make it the way I wanted, but it worked out. Second thing I started working on, it's actually not done. It's not even close to being done. So yeah, I will also insert the picture. I mentioned this blanket before. So I'm going to make sports car blanket. Currently, I'm on row 72 and I haven't reached my first corner yet. I plan to finish this blanket in February because I do a couple rows here and there. Sometimes I just don't have time to sit down and do it properly. So I do what I can. I have a lot of time to actually finish this project because his birthday is in December. But while I was working on this blanket, I thought I should make more blankets. And I have some in mind already, but I'm not going to start them before I finish this one. I want to make more baby blankets. I also want to make some dachshund corner-to-corner blankets. Maybe come up with my own pattern. We'll see how it goes. The rest of my projects that I finished in January were teeny tiny things. Like I made a skein of yarn because I got inspired by video on Instagram, and I made a keychain out of it that I carry with my house keys. I also made Stanley Cup. I was laughing that this is the only Stanley Cup that will fit my car's cup holder. Well, actually, it's not a joke. It's reality. I have huge problem to find something that will fit in the cup holder in my car. I drive a compact car and everything in this car is compact, I guess. My boyfriend has like a regular Stanley and there is no way the regular one will fit in my car. I have two travel mags that barely fit in there. Like I squeeze them in, if that makes sense. And they are sticking out. I also drive manual cars, so you can imagine how convenient it is with travel mags sticking out while you're trying to change the gear, right? Another thing I made in January is this guy. The pattern is from Dumpling Pups by Sarah Sloyer. I made a video about getting the book and the yarn for all the pups that I'm going to make out of this book. I will link it down below if you're interested in seeing that. In that video, I said I want to make a blonde dachshund because Boris is blonde. But while I was getting the yarn for this project, my boyfriend was like, I prefer the chocolate one. So I made the chocolate one. So this guy will have a friend maybe next month. I also made a fish. That is a cat toy. It has catnip in it. It already went to its home. I made it like the day before because, well, with catnip toys, I think they should be fresh while you gift it. So I actually finished it like 2 hours before it went to its new home. I used the pattern from Loops and Love Crochet. I will link the patterns that I have and that are free in the description down below. So if you want to make something, if I inspired you to do something, you can find it in the description down below. Last but not least, I finally made the flamingo for my boyfriend's boss. He asked me to do that because she's into flamingos. This is like the thing that he knows for sure that she likes. And he only asked for a flamingo, but he didn't specify how it should look. And with flamingo amigurumis, you have a lot of options. You can make it stand, you can make it sit, whatever, right? At first, I wanted to make it stand, in like the pose that flamingos do that they are famous for. But then I was like, what about like decor, something you can put on the shelf? So I made him sitting. I actually used the pattern from Five Little Monsters that I also will link down below. It's a free pattern for baby flamingo. Then I was like, it's not enough. So I made water lily that he sits on. Like, I'm going to insert the pictures, obviously. So I freehanded the leaf and the flower, but I kind of think the flower could have been a little bit bigger, but my boyfriend is happy with how it came out, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I also didn't want to make the flower like bigger than the flamingo. Flamingo is the star of the show, if that makes sense. So yeah, those are all of the things that I made in January. What about you? Did you make some projects that you're proud of? Are you working on something huge? How productive was your January? I think January was more productive for me than I thought. So when I sat down to make this video, I wasn't sure, like, do I even have anything to talk about? Like, okay, I'm working on the blanket, but what else did I make? And actually, I think I'm proud of myself this month. What I mean by that, I made all of the toys and I'm working on the blanket while working full time and having other things to do, right? I'm not crocheting full time. That's one of the things that you have to keep in mind. If you're not crocheting full time, there are people on YouTube that this is, the job they do. They do it for a living. And, people who don't do it for a living shouldn't compare themselves to people who actually do. That's, just my opinion. So for me, doing recaps like this, it's not about how productive I was. We are not racing towards who made the most, etc. I just want to see my progress. I want to see, what inspired me. So that was it for today's video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!